How old were you?
I was 10 years old.
Well, the memory is kind of rough to me, but I guess I was kind of 12 or 13ish, something like that.
I think I was young. I think I was less than 10.
Yeah. We were in a restaurant, and then we saw a couple the couple next to us. They were just like having conversation like as normal people and all that, and then all of a sudden this man started just yelling.
I was back home, and I was in my house. So these people lived one floor down to us, and this man was already married, and he got married again to someone else, and that night we came to know that this man would hit his first wife every night.
Yes, I do have one memory in particular that stuck on my head until today. I went to a party with some friends, and this friend in particular went with her boyfriend. I don't know, that boyfriend felt weird since the beginning. Even though it felt weird, I didn't do anything. But he started to be more and more aggressive during the night because he started to become jealous. We were in a party and we were in costumes. She was wearing something short, and he started just to be very aggressive.
And then like got up the chair and start pushing her and just kicking her, and just that was a clear physical violence over there.
Every night he would punch her, he would hit her on her face and kick her, smash it down on the floor and stuff. It's just that the husband was not happy with his wife being there. Well, in the past it was normal to have 2 wives, but not these days.
Mm-hmm. Was it normal for people to be their first wives?
No.
And then he got one can that he was in his hand, and he threw it on the floor very, very hard. And that's when I realized it was violent, and that was not right. And I felt my heart sunk, but it didn't do anything.
I was with my parents, and I think an uncle was with us as well, and my siblings.
I remember I was there for sure, my mother, my dad, and I roughly remember some 2 or 3 other people being there.
There was a lot of people around because it was a big party, so there was a lot of people around. We were in a group of, 7 people. So I think that particular moment was witnessed by 5 people that were closer.
I remember my uncle just scream, and that was it. I think she was just screaming on the floor, trying to protect herself, but that was pretty much.
Their son was the one who was asking for the help. And literally the woman was trying to protect herself, but she wasn't asking for help. She was not even talking. She was, trying to save her husband rather than she was saving herself.
She was just, I think, stuck and frozen in place, and she was just looking at him and us. She just didn't do anything. Did she ever ask for help?
No, I don't remember like her asking for help or anything. Yeah.
But it was a son. He was crying. He was too small.
What did you do as a child?
I was so scared. And I just remember I started crying.
I now I remember the whole situation, and I can feel what the child must have been feeling during the whole time. What I did is I called the police, and the whole matter was handed to the police.
Did you want to help?
Yes, of course I wanted to help, but I just didn't know what to do. I didn't, I wasn't sure what was going on, but I do regret that I didn't do anything.
I was so like it was too much, you know. Like I was 10 years old, and I just feel like scared. I just wanted someone to intervene there, like probably like an older people there, just go grab him and like do something for her. That's all I wanted.
Because she was someone who everyone knew. She was living in the locality since long, and everyone knew that she had been suffering from her husband since long. So I probably would say that she would get help from at least one or another. There's a saying in my country that you shouldn't be interfering between couple and stuff. Yeah, so maybe they were just waiting for something really bad to happen, I guess.
Because there was an aftermath. So this party was in a different city, and then we had to drive back, but this friend wasn't with us in a car. She was driving with her boyfriend. And then the next day, she told us that he was speeding, and she felt like she was life threatened. Her life was threatened. And she was absolutely scared of what could have happened because he was speeding too much, and she didn't feel safe.
Especially if there was, you know, like there were many people, like I don't know, like between 2-3 men could probably have done something, or you know, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. I would love to, yeah, because I feel like no one deserves that. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, I worry about my safety, especially when witnessing some like, you know, something like that. Like I don't want to get hurt or anything, but the other part of me is, you know, like wanting to do something for that person because no one deserves that, right? So, yeah, I would love to help. Yeah.
So the first thing is that getting married, getting a second wife, that's a big crime these days in my country. Not in the past, not in those days, but yeah, these days. So people themselves would be aware that having a second wife is a crime itself.
So I regret, at the moment, I didn't feel like I needed to intervene, but after that, after knowing what happened, I wish I had. I wish I could have asked somebody else to go with him. So because we didn't have places in the car and all, I just wish I could have said that she was coming with us and someone else was driving with him, and then he would drive one of my biggest friends, like men, big and all, and they could just, you know, he wouldn't have a reason to, maybe I don't know if he would speed up, but he would definitely not shout and be violent towards the person that he doesn't know. What do you think you could do to help without putting your safety at risk?
If I don't feel like doing something, I will definitely ask someone else for help. But then, like if I feel like doing something, I will, I don't know, maybe try to distract the person, try to say something, try to call someone.
And the other thing that I could do in that place, I could call more people, I guess. I could have called more people and make them also aware about the whole situation, what can be done, what could be done in situation as such.
So yes, I wish I could have stepped up and said something and did something. Absolutely. I think people can do something to help. And I think in that situation, it was definitely my lack of knowledge of the risk. So I couldn't assess the risk properly. I was naive and I followed too much my culture, and I should have followed my guts. I think people should start understanding that they can do something, no matter what. And I think this should be the first step. You just should do something, because anything, a distraction, being direct, just telling that's not okay, or even asking for help, this would be something. But the thing is, people could do anything, because I mean almost anything. That's what I think. Just do something. That's what I think. Yeah. No, I didn't do anything. And this is the answer that a lot of people will give to that question. And a lot might say, I wish I could have done something. So today, let's make a difference. Let's change this and let's learn what can we do. The first and most important step is to recognize and understand the situation we're involved. A lot of people might know right away what to do. Maybe call the police, seek for help, and delegate what must be done. Unfortunately, this is not what happened in a lot of cases. People just don't do anything. They're not sure what to do, they froze, they panic, and because they are unsure, they don't feel safe to act or to do something, they simply don't do anything. In other times, people just don't see the risks. They don't recognize the violence, and they are not sure if something will happen or not, so they just decide not acting. So, what is intimate partner violence? There are acts of violence between current partners or former partners. It can happen between homosexual couples, heterosexual couples, all different kind of intimate relationships. It can also happen from man to women and from women to man. It can also happen between gender fluid people. Unfortunately, the abuse, violence can happen with everyone. And what does the violence look like? Usually we just see and think about the violence and kicking and punching, but actually it can vary. However, one thing is very consistent. The abusers always wants to keep control and have power over the abused. There has been recognized 5 different types of violence. And the first one is the financial abuse. This happens when the abuser wants to control all the financial situation of their partner. They want to know when, why, where do they spend their money. The second one is probably the most known one. It is the physical abuse. When the abuser kicks, punches, and gets into physical violence with their partners. Be aware of bruises, scratches, because sometimes you might not see the violence occur, but you will see signs of it. The third type of abuse that we can see is the emotional abuse. This kind of abuse happens especially under psychological control. They can make threats, they can even diminish their partners, put them down, drag them down, and try to control their emotions. The fourth type of abuse that we can see, unfortunately, has been facilitated by our technology. It is the stalking type of abuse. This happens when the partner wants to control over their life. And it has been facilitated because nowadays we can send messages all the time and we can send them emails. We have cameras all over the place. So that's how they keep control over their partners. The fourth type of abuse is also well known. It is the sexual abuse. Don't be fooled. People that are in an intimate partner relationship can refuse to have sex. It is extremely important to understand consent here. If the person says no and the other forces them to do something, this is a type of violence. It is important also to understand if the person is unconscious, they can't consent. So it is also a kind of violence. Sexual abuse don't only occur in the streets or with non-intimate partners. It also happens a lot between intimate partners. And it is absolutely important to recognize this whenever your friend or someone tell you that they felt forced to do something that they didn't want to do. Once you have recognized all the kinds of abuse that can happen, and you see this happening in front of you, or one of your friends tell you that this has happened to them, let's learn how to approach it. Let's understand what can we do. So the first thing that I want you to remember is the 3D. Be direct, be a distraction, or delegate. So let's understand them. If you use the first D, direct, you will be bold. You will need to tell directly to the person that's abusing, that's being violent, that this is not okay. You will let them know that you see what's going on and you will seek help. The second D is distraction. It can be the easiest because you can be creative. You can do anything to distract the abuser of what they are doing. Get in between the couple, maybe spill some water on the floor, anything to cause a distraction and stop the situation, stop the event. And the third D and last one is the safest. If you don't feel safe doing anything directly or causing a distraction, delegate, seek help, call the police, talk to your teachers, talk to an adult. Just seek help and make sure that the victim is also being helped. It is understandable to get scared in those situations, but us as bystanders are the ones that are capable of helping the victim. There is a study that says that as more people involved, as less chance the victim has to get help, because everyone is wondering who's gonna get up and help the victim. Don't be the person wondering. Be an active bystander. Take action. Learn the different kinds of violence, the patterns that can happen in each one of them. So whenever this happens in front of you, you will recognize right away and you will be able to help the victim. Also, recognizing and understanding the situation will help you to take the right actions. Remember the 3 Ds. Be direct. Tell them that's not okay. But if you don't feel comfortable, you can also cause a distraction. In case that you don't feel safe, delegate, seek help, and make a difference in people's lives. Would you like to make a difference in people's lives?
I would love to.
Yeah, sure. Always.
Yes, I would like to make a difference today. I would never let